So there are red flags. And if you have these kind of red flags in you, it ain't getting anywhere in your life. The first thing is that if you don't know how to drive, imagine a person who doesn't know how to drive a car. How is he supposed to get himself, not leave every opportunity and situation that he have to help other people? Imagine about himself. He is not able to get himself to one place to another by his own risk or with his own talents or the good things that he have. Imagine he don't know how to drive and he had to get somebody to the hospital and there's only one person, you know, there's patient and there's you. And when the patient and there's you, the patient cannot drive. Maybe he might having a heart attack. Who knows? And you're the only person who's near you, near the other person. Maybe you'll say that, oh, I can get a cab, I can get a public transport, but are they gonna come up with but are they gonna come up at your specific or your needed time? Or at the time where they needed to go? Imagine a public transport that always arrive at 9:50 and somebody is having a heart attack at 8 and there's no public transport before that time. What are you gonna do? Wait for 9 or 9:15 till the public transport come? No, I don't think so. Maybe you get a lift. Imagine if nobody's going through that road. Suddenly, all of a sudden, anything can happen. The world can stand against you at some point in life. And if you are the only person who could save the person who's suffering from heart attack, and there's only one car, you don't you don't know how to drive. You will be having to take the blame, and you will be carrying all that kind of regret inside your head lifelong for the only simple reason that you don't know how to drive. And this can just reduce your value too. As a man, if you're growing as a man, life is extremely hard as growing as a man to build that kind of a mindset by, destructible mindset by knowing all the martial combat sports and knowing how to fight, knowing how to deal with the, extreme mental pressure from the society, from family, from all the, even from different circle. At some age, you won't even have friends, but you know hundreds and thousands of people, which doesn't give you any emotional support, but will benefit you in doing business and maintaining other network. As I've just expressed these things in my previous video, as you're not alone. I mean, you are alone in this world. So go watch that video, understand all those things, and just watch this video, and you will be more forward by thinking, by understanding the reality of life. So at some point of life, you have to realize that you're alone. Even if your network are not there to provide you emotional support, but to support you in business and all the things that you are capable to do for them. It is that your value increases there. And you have to have those things too, because you have to increase your value. As a man, you are only, you will only be considered if you have a good value. So if you don't know how to drive, the value just goes down to the rock bottom. So learning how to drive is a must as a man, because you're the person who are, you know there's only less chances that you might be depending on other people, and there's more chances that there are people who depend on you because you're a man, just because that you're a man. So learn how to drive, and if you don't know how to drive, that's a fucking red flag. Okay, so learn all those things. And the second thing that is, if you don't know how to, deal with all your emotions and all those stuffs. Some people say that drinking just gives me you know, mental peace and all those things. No, drinking only gives you liver cirrhosis, nothing else. It gives you the booze, it gives you all the, you know, the dopamine release enchantment on or at the time that you do all these stupid things when you're drinking, you know? And drinking is fun when you are in control, when you are drinking the alcohol and alcohol is not drinking you. At that point, drinking is fun. And drinking is, not a good thing. I do not support drinking, and alcohol is completely injurious, and it is not a good thing to start on. So, drinking can give you booze, drinking can give you dopamine release and enchantment, but if you are not able to control your emotion and you are drinking to control your emotions, which is that you are a failure by not controlling your emotions, and you become a double failure by drinking, thinking that drinking can, control your emotions. No, the only thing that is able to control your emotions is that your brain. If you know how to control your brain, you will be able to control your emotions. So, how to, you know, make your brain strong is that do some workout, do all the, treat your body hard that the body is not disobedient to the mind. This is a word said by Socrates. And remember all these things. If you treat the body rigorously, the body will obey your mind. So just remember all these things. And if you know how to control all your emotions, which will certainly increase your value throughout your network, throughout your family, throughout your relatives, and throughout the people who ever knows you, which is good. So, to increase value, learn how to drive, learn how to control your emotions, and drinking is never a solution for anything. And the next thing is that even if you are, are control of your emotions and you know how to drive, there is something that will drastically increase the value, which is that if you are able to be depended on, and I'll say one example is that nobody rejects my call or puts me on silent when I call them. It is because I'm valuable and I have increased my value to that point. Whenever I make a call, I don't call for, fun. No, I won't just call for, hey, how are you? Or everything is going good. You know, just random or normal things. We don't talk, I don't talk things like that. And everybody knows that when I call, there is something. And nobody puts me on silent, nobody hung up on me. No. And everybody knows that when they call me for a problem, I find a solution for that. So if you know all the things that is, supposed to keep your network, if you know speaking is the most important thing, if you know how to communicate, which will be and it is the most important reason to keep your network strong. If you know how to communicate, if you know how to deal with people, it is certainly going to keep your network in a very good way. So if you know how to speak, it is good. It is the very best way to make yourself express yourself as the most best person. So you have to, one thing is that you have to learn driving, and the other thing is that you have to learn how to control your emotions, and the third thing is that you have to learn how to speak properly. And the fourth one, it is about semantic to how to control your emotions. It is to deal with the pressures of life. There are going to be problems that is, you know, uncertain things that you might not be able to predict. If you're a person who runs more than two business, you might not be able to predict the bad things that'll be coming on your way. You might not be, not always at least. You might be able to predict most of the uncertainties, but not always. So, if you are a person who is, you know, constantly thinking about business, constantly thinking about how to, deal with all the problems that will be coming in the future, you are valuable. You are valuable because you know how to deal your business. I don't know why this thing came. Is it because of this? Yeah, that's because of that. And pop it out. Okay. If you know how to deal with all those pressure by, some people get panic attacks by thinking of some stuff. Imagine, imagine running two or three business. What are you gonna get? Maybe a heart attack. And the only thing that is going to save you from those kind of panic attacks, anxiety attacks, maybe at some point, heart attacks, heart attacks too. Because if you are thinking at a point where your food, your works, your mental processing and your daily routines are not well, and if you're trying to correct all those things by going to gym, having a good good food diet, maybe you'll be saved from heart attack one day. Maybe. Who knows? And if you are able to deal with all these things by knowing how to drive, knowing how to control your emotions, knowing how to speak properly, communicate properly, and if you know how to deal with all your pressure, you're good at life. And by ending this video, I will be just reacting to some stuffs. It's not some stuffs, I'll just react to one video which I need to tell you guys. It is at point in life that you have to struggle yourself to get to things, struggle yourself to deal with people, struggle yourself to, fit in something. So it's not really about fitting in, but it's really about showing yourself or proving yourself who you are to, to yourself. Maybe, for example, like I'll tell you in terms of working out and telling you in terms of getting yourself fit. Maybe you'll be able to do 100 or 10 push-ups, maybe 20 push-ups. But if you're trying to prove yourself that you are able to do two more push-ups that you been doing yesterday, like maybe yesterday you did 10 push-ups and you're trying to do two more push-ups today. It's like making yourself better by proving yourself that you are better than yesterday. It is exactly that when these kind of people come to you and ask these kind of questions. Aren't you married yet? Aren't you got any haven't you got any job yet? It is that you have to consider yourself as a big competition to you. And when you do that, you know when these kind of questions arrive, when these kind of people are going to ask you these kind of questions, so you're always prepared if you're constantly competing yourself. And if you're constantly competing yourself, you won't arrive in these kind of situations. You won't have to, you won't have the time to go to such idiots. So it's not that these kind of people should stop asking questions. It is that you have to make yourself look good, make yourself, prove yourself better than you're better than yesterday. So as I'm telling that, it is very important to understand that all the four things that I just told, learn how to write, learn how to communicate, learn how to control your emotion, learn how to control your pressure. These four things. And above all, you have to try to prove yourself. Life is completely and always about trying to prove yourself that you're better than yesterday. Stay out.